We are in New York City, and I'm going to be talking to the founder of Hampton Water, a French rosé. We're talking to Jesse Bongiovi, and he started this company with his dad, Jon Bon Jovi, who you may know as the famous musician. They are the fastest growing French rosé, and we're going to be talking to Jesse about all things business and the wine industry. Let's go talk to Jesse. We are with the founder of Hampton Water, Jesse Bongiovi. Jesse, good to see you.
Hi, buddy. Good to see you.
Well, what is Hampton Water? Tell me about it.
What do you mean, this fine glass here? Hampton Water is a company I started back in 2018.
Here we go. Let's give it a shot.
The finest rosé in all of the land. Well, I came up with the concept back in 2016, and we partnered with Gerard Bertrand in 2018 to actually make the liquid. It is a French Provence-style rosé grown in the Languedoc region.
Okay.
And right now, it is the highest rated, third best selling French rosé in the United States.
Wow. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
So what made you want to start Hampton Water? Tell us the origin story. Tell us your origin into the liquor and alcohol business. Give us the whole thing.
Yeah, so like I said, I came up with the concept in 2016. My family's had a place out in East Hampton on the east end of Long Island for basically my whole life, for the last 20 years. And the running joke out there was that people drank more rosé than they drank water. And my family was really no different. And so once I turned 21 and again going out to the Hamptons, I started to realize that my friends were not necessarily wine drinkers, but they were drinking tequila and they were drinking beer, and all of a sudden my friends were showing up with bottles of rosé at a bonfire or a pool party or whatever. And what I started to realize was that unlike the brands that my parents were drinking, which names like Domenat or Miraval or Menuti,
Very classic names, yeah, classic.
very
call,
French
yeah.
and often very intimidating to my friends. We could afford to go in and buy a $17 bottle of rosé, but when it was Chateau de la whatever, we'd go, I'm gonna buy Wolfer. I'm gonna buy White Girl rosé. And what I started to realize was that the liquid was nowhere near as quality as these high-end French rosés. But again, my friends were scared to pick one of those up. We're scared to order it off a menu. And so my belief started to form in this idea of if you could create a lifestyle brand and you could create something that went beyond just this is a high-quality French rosé and you should drink it, and speak to that younger consumer in a way that they were being marketed to, again, with the success of brands like White Girl and Babe Rosé and those kinds of things, that you could have something that really bridged the gap. And so I designed the label, designed the bottle, and came up with this concept of the Hampton life. Our college educations, as my dad likes to say, are about to pay off.
There we go. I love it. I love the cups.
Yeah.
I
Hampton
do like
Water
the cups.
So, a little bit of house rules, because this is a little bit different. This is ping pong.
Pink pong.
No beer in these cups. If you make both, you get to keep shooting until you miss both. If you bounce, you can defend. If you call island, you just get the ball back. You don't get two cups.
Does the guest go first?
Absolutely not.
I'm allowed to pull that off, right? That's
100%,
that's a thing?
100%,
Okay.
100%.
So tell us the story about when he brought you all out.
We literally were blending it blind ourselves and then spent the next 6-7 days, when I tell you literally with eyedroppers and test tubes, figuring out this is what we want the blend to be. And he literally picks up a rock off the ground and gives it to my dad. And we've met this guy 3 times. I mean, we're literally in the process of like, what is this thing gonna be? How is this partnership gonna work? And he goes, lick this rock. And my dad was like, are you making fun of me? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, literally thought, like, are we fighting? And
It's a French thing.
ooh, what else?
A big two
A
shots.
big comeback. But what he was showing us was that it gave us this deeper understanding, right? We were getting, like I said, the salinity off the Mediterranean, which plays into some of the flavor profiles that you get. You get a little bit of saltiness, you get a little bit of pepperiness. The limestone has an effect, and that's a key part, like I mentioned earlier, right, of what's underneath all of the soil.
Do you find a difficult balance between what you mentioned being a celebrity brand And you have a fun marketing approach. You're different than the typical rosé, but then also on the top of that, you are still a very highly rated wine. Do people look at you when you take meetings and say, I'm not going to deal with this celebrity brand, I have enough of those in my repertoire?
For us, right, it's not a celebrity brand, it's a family business. And the important thing about our storytelling as a brand has always been a father-son story. Our plan from the very beginning has always been, we're a French rosé that speaks to you in a way that no other French rosé is. We have incredible ratings. We have a unique looking name and label. And oh, by the way, this is the guy that brought it to you. And so that's always been the cherry on top. It's never been what we lead with. Now, does it help? Sure, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not too proud to say that it's not a great way to get our foot in the door. But what we realized really right away was all the press, all the whatever, all of those things are great, but unless you show backup and unless you
can get them to buy another bottle and then
come buy the other bottle, do the staff training, how can you excite consumers, how can you do a tasting at the liquor store?
So obviously we're playing ping pong here and you got all this Hampton stuff around. It is a cool brand and everything, so how does your brand like turn into a lifestyle more than just a product that people are drinking?
How are you presenting this to people, right? This is fun. No other rosé brand is doing this kind of stuff. And so for me, it's more about, are you having a good time while you're drinking this? Are you creating these memories that we talk about so often? Are you spending time with those that you love like we do when we drink rosé? So again, you talk about, you know, esteemed French winemakers across the planet. If you're telling them we were playing ping pong with their juice, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But people have done it all over the internet since we started doing it. And so again, that to me is breaking down that barrier of entry to make it so that it's approachable, to make it so that it's fun, to make it so that the 23-year-old that has never had a wine or has never bought a high quality 90-point rated wine can go, I've seen that one and I'll give it a try.
Let's pivot to the family business. You said a father and son running a business together, and your dad is a celebrity. What are challenges that come with that? What's fun about that? Tell us a little bit more about that relationship and the journey that you've been on from start to now.
For sure, yeah. We get to do a lot of great things and a lot of things that other brands, certainly when we started and even today, we get the meeting because people want to meet my dad. But unless you show up with something and you show up with a well thought out presentation and you can show, look, this is how we're going to grow your business. These are activations that we can do with you. These are different promotional tools that we can give to your staff. And then they go, oh, you guys know what you're talking about. And what I think the failure of a lot of similar sort of celebrity endorsed brands is that if you don't have that backbone infrastructure, you don't have that knowledge, and they go, well, this is, you know, insert celebrities, insert brand.
Right.
Aren't you a fan? And they go, it's cool to meet you. We'll bring in a case.
Yeah, cool branding.
Hope
Yeah,
it works.
Right.
Good luck. And they never sell. You know, and we heard that horror story from so many people when we first started was, this is a great idea, but unless you guys are gonna work it, and we work it.
Give me 2 words that you'd give as advice to an entrepreneur starting a business today.
Hard work and persistence. You are going to be told no. It's going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, like horribly wrong. To have the ability to batten down and say, this is simply what is happening. And my reaction to it is going to dictate whether or not this is a catastrophe or this is just something that happens. There have been countless times of like, oh my God, the world's on fire, like things are horrible, whatever. In the moment they feel that way, and often they really can be, but I think that having the work ethic to say, we can figure out a solution through this, and having the persistence to be able to go, because I know that on the other side we're gonna be okay, I think is paramount to the success of any startup, any entrepreneur, anybody that I think wants to be successful in anything. No matter what it is, things are going to go wrong in your life. Having the ability to just go like, okay, let me focus on what we need to focus on. Let's climb this mountain, let's get over it, and we can keep going once we do. All of those things I think are hugely important to anyone that starts anything.
What is your legacy in this? Because I do think that, hey, 7 years in?
7 years.
7 years in, it's starting to have legs on its own.
Yeah.
You could pull back. Let's just let the brand speak for itself.
My perspective has always been very rooted in hard work. You know, it's something that my parents have always been, you know, big proponents of, that my dad has always been a big proponent of, that I've my whole life seen the work that it takes to have the success that my dad has had. And I always have this feeling of you got to wake up every day and earn it. And so again, when you talk about the legacy of me and this brand, you know, I'm not going to be so brazen to say, golly, to say, oh, thank God, that, damn. Oh, well, you know, my legacy, we disrupted the French wine, you know, world, and we changed rosé. We want to play our little part, right? But I think that my hope would be that people, whoever they are, people that we work with, the restaurant down the street, knows that you can always call me. I'll always put in the work. No matter what the thing is, big or small, there's not some like, oh, you don't talk to me. I'm the founder, I'm the boss. Every single person that we've hired, I call every single one, congratulate them myself. I'm the one that sets up their emails. You know what I mean? Like literally like, here's your password, here's your whatever. Yeah. Like this is part of the onboarding process. And more than half of them have been like, I can't believe you're the person calling me. And it's like, well, that's...
Yeah, I'm running a business.
But it's like, but to me, it's like, could that be, you know, outsourced? Sure. But to me, that is the putting in the work. That is the nothing is below you. And I think that that to me is the important aspect of doing anything to the highest level, is you have to be the one willing to do it.
All right, well, Jesse, I appreciate you beating me in ping pong, but thanks for the time.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Excited about where Hampton Water is going, and excited to see what you guys are doing in the future.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and let's go.
All of this is available right now on HamptonWaterWine.com. Even this hat. We have hoodies. We've got all kinds of things. Sign up for our newsletter.
All right.
Invaluable. Shut up!
We're doing an interview! New York, New York. Hey, it's New York, baby. Why don't you relax by having some Hampton Water?
Something today.
Wine and the whole industry. New York. All right, let's go talk to Jesse.